Hi, I'm Maria and this is the Agile State of Mind. Welcome! Today we're gonna talk about collaboration. Why? I know quite a few tech managers that look at us, the Agile coaches, as if we were made out of fluff. What's up, Doc? Right? You know what I'm talking about. The typical, yeah, you and your processes and gains, and that condescending look. What do you know if you can't even code a simple calculator app? True story, by the way. The attitude is basically, go and schedule your meetings in the calendar. We have some serious stuff going on here. This is the last episode of the Scrum Master Stances series, and that's why today I wanted to reveal my secret sauce to being a Scrum Master, Agile coach, and this time also an RTE, Release Train Engineer, that can provide some additional value. You can be a great facilitator and even better problem solver, but it's only when you get the collaboration going that all suddenly falls into place. You feel that you are providing value and people around the organization start recognizing that value too. And it feels great. You are the right person in the right place. Let's see how it's done. As I see it, we have people with determined roles, like developers, product owners, product managers, UX designers, architects, etc. And each one of them has their own understanding of what they should be doing, and more often than not, each of them has a different manager. This is being mitigated in some companies by adding a team lead role, but it depends on the company. With all of these people working on their own part of the process, we need someone to get a global view, and we usually have someone for that. It can be program manager, project manager, technical project manager, an engineering lead, or an RTE, release train engineer. Interesting that most of them have a manager in their role description, apart from the release train engineer. And somehow, a coincidence, they are more focused on the dates, the deadlines, and the output. I'm not even saying outcome, but not on the journey, how to get there, to the outcome that is. How do we make sure that all these people are aligned and the goal is clear for them? Well, that is where we can provide value. Let's set the stage here. Imagine we have 3 most important initiatives in the company to be done in the next quarter. We have all those people mentioned previously coordinated around 15 teams. What a pretty picture, isn't it? So for starters, let's take a look at some questions that might help us determine where we are. And those questions can go in a random order. 1. Is the intent behind the goals, priorities clear? Are the teams aligned with the leadership and stakeholders on that? 2. Are there any teams working on the same outcomes? What are their interactions? Are they aligned on the dependencies? Are the designs clear enough? And I not only mean the visuals, but also architectural solutions. Are UXers and architects involved in providing guidance? Are there any blockers, impediments, questions, or doubts? What are the top risks? And last but not least, what channels do people use to align on that? Getting responses to those questions will help you determine where the teams need support, your support. But there's a catch. Who would be the first one to say they don't know? Might seem trivial, and you even might dismiss it at first. But it's a serious matter. How do you know what's going on if people don't talk? You have 2 choices here. One is to declare, I asked, but nobody needed anything. So my job is done here. And unfortunately, this is how some people actually understand the role. I asked the questions, my job is finished. I can deliver a status. All is clear, no questions were raised. This typically happens when the person is quite far from the teams or takes the process too literally. The good news is there is an alternative approach, and that is gain the trust of people and trust your intuition. A very technical solution. Imagine you ask some of those questions in a big Slack channel, or even worse, in an email, and got no response. By now, you probably have a few trusted individuals in the company, or people you identified as the ones that provide feedback. Go and ask them individually. Just a simple question. Are those 3 top initiatives refined enough so your team can start working on them? Or if you want to ask a powerful question, you can ask, what's your confidence level of delivering those 3 initiatives by the end of the quarter? If I see any hesitation, I start to dig deeper. For that, you don't need to have a lot of context about the initiatives themselves. You will get there. Although, I highly recommend getting involved and trying to understand what we are trying to achieve in this company. Your task here is simple, is to help people and remove any blockers preventing them from achieving their goals. Do they know their goals though? That can be another task. So for that, you need to understand a bit better the basis of the technology and the product. You will be able to help better. Not all at once. Take your time. Start immersing yourself with the product. This way, you will get more credibility. Why? Because what I said at the very beginning, all those people allergic to processes, they, by default, get allergic to people that create and keep the processes, like us. Yes, what I'm saying is that basically some people are quite allergic to us. So yeah, you have quite a challenge on your hand, especially if you don't have technical background. Now, not only teams don't talk to you, but on top of that, the managers see you as an obstacle. A great place to be, but worry not, all can be fixed. And I'm laughing because I felt like that, and at the beginning, of course, I took it personally. But after some time of just focusing on doing my job, I started to get recognition from all those allergic people too. So here's hoping. What's the problem here? When you go to a team or you go to a manager and you offer your help, but instead they need to teach you and explain to you and help you understand the technology and the product, then they feel you are an obstacle and then you start off on the wrong foot. A simple solution to this is find a mentor, somebody who will teach you and explain you the core of the technology that you're using, and somebody who can explain the product. Go to Wiki page, read all that you can find. And believe me, you will find a lot of people that will be very happy to help. The rest is just to smile a lot and carry on. And now, short lesson on cooperation versus collaboration. So different levels of collaboration. I didn't know the difference until I started reading Lisa Atkin's book, Coaching Agile Teams. And to be honest, I thought, oh my, yet another philosophy. I just want to focus on getting things done. What is quite interesting, and it helps with some of the dilemmas of Scrum. Collaboration yields that old adage, the whole is greater than the sum of the individual parts. Cooperation yields the sum of parts. And I was wondering about this a couple of times. Is it bad that we have some individuals cooperating, working together, but not really collaborating? Should we always struggle to convert them into a team? Imagine all those 100 people from the 3 top priorities story. Can we get them actually to collaborate, or should we settle for cooperation instead? And there's no shame in that. Already far better than not talking to each other. That was refreshing, wasn't it? So just to make sure that we understand what collaboration, that the big goal that we have in the end of the road is, it's when the team members don't care about their individual ideas. It's not the sum of ideas that creates a great thing. It's that adding one idea to another and something new emerges that they wouldn't be able to do on their own. I heard this quote about creativity and relationship. If you are in a relationship, it's the sum of the two creativities that create some new thing that you wouldn't be able to create on your own. That's why it's so beautiful. As Scrum Masters, coaches, we are there to help create the environment for this kind of collaboration to flourish. How do we do this? How do we make sure hundreds of people can actually start working together? First of all, if you are not in a rush, what's very important is that people see the person behind the words they say and the role they have. Remember what we were talking in conflict navigation. Create opportunities for people to meet, to share, to have a small talk, funny warm-ups. Ask me anything sessions with the leadership. Bring people closer. Music generally gets people in a better mood. And they will let you know what they think about your music too. They must know one another as human beings first and workmates second. This creates the base from which they self-organize to get the work done. Lisa Atkins compares the coach to a symphony conductor. So you basically help people that speak the loudest to decrease a little bit the volume and the amount of talking, and those who speak quietly or not at all bring their volume up. And Lisa mentions some desired collaborative behaviors that we should be seeking for. 1. Pick the unspeakable. 2. Build up instead of breaking down. 3. Hear all voices. 4. Nurture collaboration intimacy. 5. Gain faith in emergence. As we said, if we all add our ideas, something greater will emerge. 6. Get unstuck. Start talking. 7. Play seriously together. Okay, those were some strategies for long-term collaboration. And right now, let's see, what do we do with this situation we have on our hands? That we have hundreds of people, 3 initiatives, we believe they are not well refined. What I usually do is I go and create a workshop. And I heard this many times. A workshop with 100 people online? Are you crazy? Who will speak? You? Depends on how you run it and how you prepare for it. The workshop is an example I would like for us to work with here, but you for sure might have much better ideas than I do. Use your creativity. So my secret sauce goes here. When you want to do something, such a breakthrough idea that's never been done before, you need to get some people on board. And you need to consult people because maybe you're insane. Who knows? But what I usually do, I reach out to those people that I mentioned before. We created some connection, but also I reach out to people that I expect a lot of pushback from. Those are the people who actually care. So involve them at the beginning. You will be surprised how much help you get from them and how many great ideas they can provide. And on top, you won't get the pushback afterwards. And here I want to give kudos to Joanne, my friend, who shared this secret with me. Be fearless. Do your thing. Start them talking. So basically what you do, you bring the team, the leadership, and the stakeholders all together on a Zoom meeting. Nowadays, the conference tools have this great option of creating breakout rooms. Make friends with it because it will save your life. I got to the point that the workshops were just run by themselves. The key is to respond to real needs. The teams are your customer. Respond to their needs. If you actually respond to the need of refining something that's not refined, people will start asking questions and people will self-organize in those breakout rooms. At the beginning, I was thinking how to predetermine the breakout rooms. I spent a lot of time preparing those workshops with the UXers, POs, and architects. But after a while, I noticed that if I ask people what rooms they would like to have and how they would like to divide during the workshop, that works just as good and maybe even better. If you give the people the tools and help them meet, they will self-organize. And I gotta admit that the power of self-organization surprises me each and every time, still today. Okay, and that's the secret sauce, how you make people talk and how to respond to the actual needs. And that's all for today. I hope this video will help you see how you can provide value by getting the collaboration going, by consulting people, getting ideas from them, and involving them in the whole process. And you will see it works its magic. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.